As of right now, Ripple's chief technology officer, David Schwartz, sits in the $10,000 price range for XRP. This is crucial because immediately after David Schwartz, who is both a co-creator of XRP and the current chief technology officer of Ripple, went live, the founder of XRP forecasted that XRP will be priced at $10,000. David Schwartz indirectly predicts that XRP would overtake all other reserve currencies in the world just days before the huge resignation announcement. Surprisingly, XRP's creator, Arthur Ritchie, had only recently said that the cryptocurrency is built for $10,000 and can scale to support 7.5 million users. With the United States' approval, large financial organizations are beginning to adopt the XRP ledger and begin using XRP. This includes Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, BlackRock, Bank of America, and countless more. More and more global transactions and payments are moving to the XRP ledger. Real estate and real-world assets are another huge institution, moving on to the XRP ledger and another huge market. This is something that David Schwartz, Ripple's former chief technology officer who is currently stepping down, discusses. He went on record as saying that $1 million is the sweet spot for XRP when it comes to real estate and other tangible assets, as opposed to $1. The term realistic was also underlined by him. Check this out, dudes. This is on Quora, he says. What he says is as follows. According to him, XRP can't be dirt cheap. I fail to understand. This is how you should look at it. 1 million XRP, or around $1,000 USD, would be required to purchase a home at the current XRP price of 1 ETH per coin. If the price of XRP is 1 million, then you would only need 1 XRP, which would cost 1 million again. On the other hand, in this case, paying less is possible due to increased prices. At its current price of $1,000, Bitcoin could purchase a mansion, but at $300 a coin, it would have been impractical due to its tremendous market impact and high cost. Payments become more affordable as prices rise. Now, I want to make sure this video doesn't go viral before I share it with you. In it, Ripple's CTO, David Short, predicts that XRP will overtake all other reserve currencies in the world. He also says that the White House and Ripple have met, so this is significant. The cryptocurrency controlled by the Federal Reserve will be XRP, according to Brad Garlinghouse and Donald Trump's own tweets. Hold just a second because there is another major issue. Just a friendly reminder that we've teamed up with Apple to offer up to $100 worth of free XRP to everyone watching this video. Just so you know, before we start rolling the clip, guys, there is talk that XRP's value could surge to over $11,098 in the next months. Hey, check this out. It's pretty big. Today is the day to buy XRP. Not at all cost. There is a current XRP price of $2.87. Get up to $100 to spend on an XRP bank, completely free, just by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, leaving presentations, and sharing this video. That's right, you too can earn $100 just by viewing this video. Getting the delicious bonus is as easy as liking, commenting, subscribing, and signing up. I'll turn it into a transaction using the link in the description. Okay then, let's start playing the video. On the current state of global reserve currencies, I am referring to their ability to coexist. Yes, I do, and I can see how that could work. The idea that many countries have abandoned the dollar as their reserve currency is, in my opinion, fairly plausible. Additionally, I believe that many establishments are open to exploring alternative options. One of my wild-eyed hopes for a digital asset is that nations would begin to accept the fact that the US dollar cannot remain the world's reserve currency indefinitely. I don't think this will happen anytime soon, but it is one of my possibilities. Something else will function as the reserve currency. Also, the same thing happened with financial institutions. Many individuals asked me when we first began selling software to financial institutions why they should use our product instead of one that the banks had developed in-house. The fact that just 4 of the world's largest banks, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, Credit Suisse, and JP Morgan Chase, would be responsible for creating a system that could power the entire planet was something they failed to consider. Their main rivals are the other 6,000 smaller banks in the banking industry. The entities they despise the most are those that would use their system, their biggest and strongest rivals, because they know it will be slanted in their favor. In my opinion, countries are also vulnerable to this kind of stuff. For example, every country would be thrilled if its currency could serve as the global reserve currency. American citizens have benefited from that. That has, for decades, contributed to the unfair growth of the U.S. economy. It would be the de facto reserve currency of the globe, and every other nation would agree. However, the only countries with a legitimate chance of succeeding are the United States, the European Union, Russia, and maybe one or two others. However, in all candor, the majority of nations are aware that they will not be the ones to issue a new national currency serving as a global reserve. Therefore, they may actually favor an uncontrollable currency over one that is governed by their main geopolitical adversaries. That, then, is the most ideal situation in which digital assets could succeed, in my opinion. If these nations decide that the US dollar can't last forever, but that it won't be their currency either, then nobody will want to imitate it. If the European Union were to supplant the dollar, no one would object, would they? A dollar replacing ruble is something that no one wants except Russia. Only China is rooting for the yuan to dethrone the dollar. Perhaps they might agree on a decentralized currency that would be impossible to manage, instead of letting their most formidable geopolitical adversary do it. Therefore, in my opinion, that is the most probable outcome if you are seeking success. However, the real issue is how to secure consensus from all parties involved. If their geopolitical rivals propose an alternative to the dollar that isn't just a change in leadership, they might be able to reach an agreement. However, I don't think it's a good idea if the alternative is for everyone to become rich off of cryptocurrency. They're going to give you a minus for that. Well done. It is a pleasure conversing with you all. I only have one question. Only one. I appreciate it, David. Surprisingly, Ripple's Chief Technology Officer, CTO, also announced that big banks are starting to use XRP, which confirms that banks will officially start using XRP. More importantly, it means that Ripple will start acting like a bank, processing payments and providing access to trillions of dollars worth of capital, all on the XRP ledger. The thing they're keeping from you, though, is the upcoming integration of the XRP ledger with a market worth over $650 trillion has the potential to infuse $650 trillion into the real-world asset market, sending the price of XRP soaring to $11,000. Amazingly, RealFi, a behemoth of an institution, is responsible for bringing over $2 billion worth of real estate onto the XRP ledger. In addition, a new chapter was formally announced on October 6th, marking the beginning of efforts to increase the adoption and widespread integration of their technology. This technology is built on the XRP ledger and will power the future of real estate rewards and payments through the XRP ledger cryptocurrency, Real Token. Once again, the genuine token will facilitate the $650 trillion market that is set to pour onto the XRP ledger. To reiterate, I am extremely positive. I just wanted to inform you all. Please subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Until next time, take care.